What do you do if you love motorsport and you love Ferrari? Well, if you start young enough, you could go go-karting and work your way up through the racing ranks, and one day you might race for Ferrari. Otherwise, you're probably going to have to work very, very hard in life and buy perhaps a historic racing Ferrari. The trouble with that is you need millions, if not tens of millions of pounds to do that. So what's the alternative? Well, it could be this, the Ferrari Testa Rossa J. The Testa Rossa J is a 75% scale replica of the original 1957 250 Testa Rossa. That car won Le Mans 3 times. It won the 12 Hours of Sebring 3 times. It won the 1958 Targa Florio and many other races. It's been built by the same people who gave us the Baby Bugatti 2, the little car company, and was created using the original designs from Ferrari Classiche. Order one and you can go for one of 53 colours, or one of the 14 original racing liveries. Only 299 will be built. Everything is as you'd expect from an old Ferrari racer. Like, you've got this beautiful Nardi steering wheel, you've got these lovely piped leather seats. The only thing is they haven't got 60 years of aging on them. And then you've got these gauges. The gauges are exactly as they would have been on the original car, but updated because, of course, this is an EV. So rather than a tachometer, you've got a speedometer. Rather than a fuel gauge, you've got a battery gauge. And then, like the Baby 2 Bugatti, there are modern twists. So the pedals are from a 488 Pista, and then, like every new Ferrari, there's a Manettino switch, which brings us to power. Rather than a 3-litre V12, you have 3 batteries and a 48-volt motor powering the rear wheels. All in all, you'll get around 100 kilometres of range. So there are 4 drive modes. You've got Novice, Comfort, Sport and Race. Now Novice mode, that's the take it nice and easy mode, the I'm just getting used to it mode. So you get 1 kilowatt of power and the top speed is about 15 miles an hour. Bump that up into Comfort, which is what I'm in at the moment, and the power goes up. Go from 1 kilowatt to 4 kilowatt, and the top speed goes from 15-ish miles an hour to 30-ish miles an hour. Now already in a car that is this low to the ground, is quite quick. From Comfort then you've got Sport, and Sport once again gives you more power and more speed. Goes from 4 kilowatts to 10 kilowatts. Trying to hang on. And the top speed goes from 30-ish miles an hour to just over 40 miles an hour. Then, beyond that, you've got Race. Race, full beams. You get 12 kilowatts and you get more than 50 miles an hour. 50! You have to be brave to do that. This is ridiculous. I'm driving a racing Ferrari. This is so cool. Now, I'm not going into race mode today, and I'll tell you why. It's because this is a prototype and they don't really want me, well, probably not breaking things, but this doesn't actually have the hardware in it for race mode, which is a shame. But I can tell you now, in Sport, 10 kilowatts, 40 plus miles an hour feels plenty fast enough. What's interesting is that I've got a slightly offset driving position, so I'm both slightly offset, and because this is not a racing bucket, you know, it's not a modern Ferrari racer, I'm moving around ever so slightly in the seat. I'm just clinging on. That's part of the fun, that's part of the theatre, and it makes me wonder what on earth it would have been like to drive one of these in period, where presumably you're dealing with the same kind of slight offset, the same kind of seat. Chuck it in without any power on, the back is definitely mobile. Hot diggity damn, this is fun. So what else have we got? Well, we've got Ibach springs, we've got Bilstein dampers, we've got Brembo brakes, and we've got Pirelli tyres. And this is no word of a lie, over the curve slightly there. Its dynamics were signed off at Fiorano by Ferrari's test driver, Raffaele De Simone. He knows a thing or two about setting up a car. The brakes, fantastic. Just about feel when they're about to lock up. There's no ABS, obviously. And as you head into a corner, if you come off the throttle slightly, you can just get it to lift around and rotate. God, it's mega fun. There you go, turn it. No power. I'm living the dream. I'm in a racing Ferrari. And because this is scaled, I probably look like I'm normal height. Win. It's got an open diff, but to be honest, you don't really notice that trail brake into there. Oh. It's no worse for having an open diff rather than a limited slip. I could imagine if it was wet and you were trying to slide and get the rear end moving around every single corner, you'd benefit from a limited slip diff, and they are working on one with a diff. But you're not missing out on anything because it's open. And as for range, this will do 100 kilometres. And because you've got 3 battery packs in the front, 3 quite small batteries that weigh 12 kilos each, you can muck about for your 100 kilometres, which, let's face it, you're doing this on a small little course, that's quite a long way. And you can just pull in, change all the batteries, and off you go again. What I didn't expect was how comfortable this is. It is remarkably relaxing, and we're driving it on the same track where we drove the Bugatti Baby 2 exactly a year ago. It just feels more compliant, more relaxed, but just as fun, just as responsive, just as lively. This extra comfort, compliance hasn't come at the expense of handling, certainly not. The price? Well, it is cheaper, or rather less expensive than actual historic racing Ferraris. Rather than 10, 15, 20 million that you would be paying, this is €93,000 plus taxes and delivery costs, and any options that you might want, whether you want it in your own kind of paint or you want it in one of the other liveries. This doesn't drive like a novelty. This drives like a proper little race car. It's fantastic. Yes, I know it's a lot of money, and yes, I know that only very wealthy people are going to be buying this, and maybe they're in the position to buy one of the actual cars, but if you can get one, you can enjoy it. What a treat.